Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to tonight's webinar. This is John Johnson, one of the top leaders in My Daily Choice with Team Global Dynasty Network. And tonight we will be going over what network marketing is, and we will dive more into, why I chose My Daily Choice specifically. So before we get started, let me share with you my story and what I was doing before I found network marketing. I'm 20 years old and grew up in Atlantic City, New Jersey. At the age of 5, my parents separated, and due to my mom's lack of financial intelligence, in 2011, the house I grew up in was foreclosed on, which was definitely, a punch to the gut, but, created a desire to succeed financially. Um, and I just didn't have a path at that time to do so. But, my father was a successful Atlantic City fireman for 40 years, retiring in 2014 as deputy chief. And his best financial advice to me was to read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. But at the time, I was in high school and didn't even read the books that my teachers wanted me to read. So I kind of put the book to the side. But um, uh, After I graduated high school, I made the decision to go to community college. And after about 2 weeks being there, I was approached by two kids on campus who were overly excited. But so automatically, I was wondering what they were trying to sell me. But luckily, they introduced me to someone who knew what they were talking about, and that someone was Brian Jacobs. At the time, Brian was a full-time personal trainer and was making about $1,000 on the side. So I automatically assumed that what he was doing on the side was a scam. But after about 45 minutes of him answering all my questions, I was blown away by what I had learned and was ready to get started, and realized that, $150 to start your own business was essentially not that big of a risk. So I dove in, not knowing that $150 would change my life forever. Um, so before I go into what network marketing is, let's discuss what's happening in the world today. I think the biggest problem with the world today is that financial education is not taught in our school system. And student loan debt is bigger than credit card debt. And student loan debt is the worst kind of debt because it is never forgiven. It's always there. You can declare bankruptcy, but you still have to pay that debt. It's awful. On top of that, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, in 2012, 44% of college graduates were working in jobs that didn't require a college degree, and only 36% of that group were in what researchers called good non-college jobs, which meant there were jobs where you were making about $45,000 a year. I think we can all agree that college is a great investment, but does not mean that you will succeed financially. The only way to create your own economy and control your income is to become an entrepreneur. 70% of Americans would love to be their own boss. 70%. But they don't have a way to do so. Because if you look at the traditional ways of becoming an entrepreneur, they're often too risky for the average person to take. One way would be to buy an existing business. Now, the major problem with buying an existing business is if it's a successful business, why would they want to sell it? And B, if they're selling it, that probably means that they're not running the business well. So essentially, that's not that great. Secondly, you could buy a franchise, but we all know that franchises can become very expensive and ends up being more of a job, where you're going there every day to make sure everything is run well. Third, you could start a business from scratch, but that requires your own ideas, and that's obviously very risky. Fourth, you could become an investor. But the funny things about venture capitalists, like you see on Shark Tank, they only succeed on one out of every 11 businesses that they invest in. Only one out of 11. So obviously, That's not that great. And also to add on to all that, to own your own restaurant, 90% of restaurants fail in their first year. So it all adds up, like I said, to just too much risk for most people. But what if there was a way that you could have all the comfort aspects of being an entrepreneur and could still control your own life, and you didn't have to create the product? There's everything that you would need except an employer. Do you think that most people would be open to working in an environment like that? Because I believe so. So where was I? Becoming an entrepreneur, honestly, is a safer route than being an employee. One untraditional path is for people to start their own business through the creation of a network marketing business. Network marketing is simply using a large group of independent entrepreneurs to move a product or service more efficiently. According to Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, network marketing is business school for entrepreneurs. A traditional business will often spend up to 50% of revenue on marketing their product or service. Network marketing uses independent distributors to do the marketing for them. Now, you might ask why. Why do they do that? Well, one, word of mouth advertising is so much more effective today than traditional advertising. Think about it. You go see a movie, you go tell your friend goes to see that movie. Who gets paid? Not you. In network marketing, you get paid. So, two, some products need to be explained or demonstrated by an independent salesperson who can do that more effectively than an ad campaign. Three, it's more efficient. The company only pays for their marketing of the product when a sale happens and not before. So essentially, imagine if Amazon allowed you to become an independent distributor and paid out 40% of its revenue to that distributor group, and all you had to do was recommend a product, and if a person bought it on Amazon, Amazon would take care of all the logistics, and you get paid for bringing in that customer. Now, imagine if you could get paid for every purchase that customer made for the rest of their lives. Now, Amazon does not offer this option, but network marketing companies do. So the distributor gets all the benefits of owning a traditional business without all the risk, because network marketing allows you to build your own network of other distributors and compensates them on sales created by that group. So essentially, everyone gets to build a sales team from day one. And if they produce, they get paid. And if they don't produce, they don't get paid. And people all around the world are getting paid. Network marketing is a $178 billion industry, which is bigger than the music industry, which is at $16 billion, and also is bigger than the movie industry, which is an $80 billion industry. Network marketing pays out on average about $71 billion a year in commissions to people just like me and you. That's $200 million a day, and 96 million people are involved throughout the world in network marketing. And out of those 96 million, basically 82% of people report a successful experience with network marketing. But here's the catch. The catch to network marketing is that most people still don't understand it. So if you decide to get on board, you're going to have to embrace a temporary loss of self-esteem from ignorant people who flat out just do not know what they're talking about. In the beginning, you will do a lot of things that you don't get paid for, but as you keep going, you end up getting paid for a lot of things that you don't do. And to finish this off here, yes, network marketing is emotional and challenging. You must commit to being a professional, and it takes time. But I promise you, it's worth it. It is 100% worth it. It's worth it for all the friends and relationships that you build. It's worth it for all the learning experiences that you have, and it's worth it for the person that you become. So that is what network marketing is. And now I will share with you, why I chose My Daily Choice as my network marketing company.